What's happening, everybody? Warren Buffett was one of the top 3 richest people in the world, something like that. He's got a lot of money. He's got more than me. He says to look for the job you would take if you didn't need a job. In other words, do what you love to do instead of chasing the money. As a friend of mine, Vincent Phipps, says, quit chasing money, let the money chase you. Do what you want to do. So I've thought about that a lot, and if I weren't looking for a job, if I didn't need money, if the money was just flowing in and I didn't have to work for a living, what I would do is I would host the Get You Some radio show. I absolutely love hosting the Get You Some radio show. I get to have interesting conversation with interesting people about interesting things. I get to talk with my friends about stuff I like to talk about, and if anybody pays attention, well, that's just gravy. That's just icing on the cake. And I've had an opportunity to talk. I've had an opportunity to talk to big name authors, Bob Berg and Mark Schaefer and Keenan, who've between them sold millions, probably millions of books. And I've been able to talk to some of the top performing automotive salespeople in the United States. Spoke with Ali Rita, sold 200 cars in December of last year. Spoke with Frank Graniti, who sells 100 cars a month, working 4 days a week, living the dream in Pennsylvania. So I've had a chance to talk to some great people, some superstars, some sales trainers, speakers, a great wide variety of people. But my favorite conversations that I end up having on the Get You Some radio show are when I talk to ordinary, average, just regular people, especially people in the automotive business who have kind of figured it out and figured out how to use the stuff that I talk about to better themselves. And I'm not talking about necessarily people who are selling 100 or 200 cars a month or even 30 cars a month, because the number, at the end of the day, the number is just a number. It's about building the life that you want to lead and building a better you, making you and your situation better one step at a time. And so one of my favorite shows I've ever done is the show that I just released yesterday with my buddy Bo Sales from Foothill Ford over in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. He's on the Get You Some radio show this week. You can listen to it on YouTube. You can go to my website, terrylancaster.tv. I'm sure you can find it on my Facebook page. You can find it on my Twitter page. You can find it on LinkedIn. It's on Player. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher. It's kind of all around. Bo Sales on the Get You Some radio show. And let me tell you this story. This is pretty good, because Bo's been in the car business about a year and a half. And I talk a lot about people doing video, and a lot of people aren't comfortable with video, and they're worried about how they look on the camera, and they're worried about how they sound on camera, and maybe they're not as charismatic as some other people. And Bo's just a regular guy. He's not a superstar. He's not got superstar good looks. He's not got a superstar delivery. He's not overwhelmingly charismatic with a big smile and a slap you on the back. He's just a regular guy, and he's figured out how to use Facebook and video and personal branding to promote himself and propel himself to the top of the leaderboard at Foothill Ford in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. And Pilot Mountain, by the way, has got a population of 1,400 people. 1,400 people, 3 dogs, a chicken, and a goat. 1,400 people, and he's using exactly the same stuff that I talked about. He's been in the business about a year and a half, and when he joined on at the store, there's one guy at Foothill Ford who's been at the store for 25 years, and he is the top dog. He's been the top dog for 25 years, salesman of the month, month in and month out. In a town of 1,400 people, he knows everybody who knows everybody. So there's no, how you going to fight that? So Bo comes in, and he decides that he's going to start using video marketing to reach out and connect with car buyers around the North Carolina area, around everywhere. Reach out and connect with them and start building relationships, kind of to generate his own weather. And he started in January. Around the first of the year, he decided he was going to do a video every single day. So he started doing a video every single day, and he does videos about cars. Obviously, he's in the car business, so he has videos about walk-arounds of the cars and talks about the features and the benefits of each individual cars, and we got this pricing and this payment on this individual car. But he talks about a lot of other stuff as well too. He talks about he talks about he used to be a professional bowler, so he talks about bowling. Bowls a 215 average. He said, I told him I've got a 215 average too for a series, and so he talks about bowling. He talks about cars. He talks about where he likes to go out to eat. He talks about what he and his family are doing on the weekend. He loves to get his customers out there on camera. He loves to get local business people out there on camera and help support them. And he started doing this every single day. And at first, he was doing what everyone does. He's worried about what he looks like, and he wants to look professional. And he doesn't, you're self-conscious, and you don't want people making fun of you. The last thing you want to do is look stupid. I mean, sitting in a room talking to your phone like this, you're going to feel stupid anyway. The last thing you want to do is look stupid. So he said he would take hundreds of takes and record it for 3 or 4 hours. Spend 3 or 4 hours recording take after take after take after take, and trying to edit it together and edit out every time he said and every time he scratched his face, or doing all this editing in an idea to make it look absolutely perfect. And after a couple of weeks, he kind of got over that. And what he figured out is if he just pushed the button, talked into the camera, was authentic, spoke from the heart, spoke to his people, that people responded to that. And it didn't matter whether it looked perfect or not. It didn't matter whether he sounded perfect or not. It didn't matter if there was a shadow in his eye or the wind was blowing across the microphone. It didn't matter as long as he was being authentically Bo. So he decided that he wasn't going to put that much energy into trying to be perfect. He just wanted to be Bo, and he was going to be Bo every day. And he started recording these videos every single day. And in January, after 25 years of one guy being the salesperson of the year, Bo was the salesperson of the year. Again in February, after 25 years of one person being the salesperson of the month, Bo was the salesperson of the month. And then I think he fired the old dog up because I think he came back a little bit in March. I hadn't got the final details of what went on in March. But I know Bo was the salesperson of the month for 2 out of 3 months for the first quarter of the year. And he's absolutely killing it, just being himself, being authentic on camera, and without worrying about being perfect, and without worrying about trying to impress anybody, and without worrying about being slick or produced. He just got on the camera, started reaching out, started making connections, and selling more cars. And he told me that there are people who tell him, people that he didn't even know, by the way, that he would they would wait in the afternoon for him to release his video. So he'd release his video, and they'd be there waving and popping up his video. So he'd talk to them. He told me about people who drove from West Virginia to Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, drove across 2 state lines, hundreds of miles, past dozens of other Ford dealerships, just so that I could buy from Bo, just because Bo was willing to sit down in front of a camera, push the button, and talk into a microphone. So he did that, and he did another thing that I encourage salespeople to do that not a lot of other people are willing to do. He wanted to make more friends on Facebook, make more friends, sell more cars. And it's surprising how simple the answer really is. You want to make more friends on Facebook? Here's an idea. Ask more people on Facebook to be your friend. So Bo would go in on Facebook, and if he'd sell a car, he'd find any other person that person is related to in the Pilot Mountain area. Someone local, it doesn't matter. He doesn't need friends in Indonesia because they're not going to come buy a car from him. But he would find connections of connections and start friending them and send them a little message. Hey, I just sold your friend so-and-so a car. I like to have lots of friends around Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. And he started making friends that way. And I asked him, I said, well, did anyone get mad at you and yell at you and accuse you of being a spammer and a low-down, dirty, lying, cheating, dog, thief, car scumbag because you reached out to be their friend on Facebook? He said, not a single one. He said, the worst thing happened is some people just ignored me. They didn't want to be my friend, so they just let it go. But so he made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of new friends on Facebook just by pushing that little friend button. And I tell people when I'm in a dealership doing training that little be your friend button on Facebook is like a roulette wheel. Boom! You push that button, it's like spinning the wheel. It's like spinning the wheel, and maybe you're going to win, and maybe you're going to sell a car, and maybe you're going to sell a new car 6 months down the road. Maybe you're going to sell a new car 2 years down the road. Or maybe you're going to sell a car to a friend of a friend of a friend. Or maybe someone in West Virginia is going to see your video and drive across 2 state lines to buy a car from you. But the only way to do it is to do it. So this is a great interview with Bo on the Get You Some radio show. You can go to terrylancaster.tv to watch the full episode. You can go to iTunes to listen to it, Player, Stitcher, Google Podcast. It's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And if there's anything I can do for you to help you push that button, make more friends, sell more cars, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll see you around.